Now it's time for the midday news on BBC One from Moira Stewart.
Good afternoon. The Bosnian Serbs have released most of the remaining United Nations hostages. Among those being held were 6 Britons. About 130 were freed this morning after the intervention of an envoy from President Milosevic of Serbia.
A week since the last release, the Bosnian Serbs announced today that all UN soldiers held hostage were now free to go, except 15, to be set free a little later, the Serbs say, for technical reasons.
We consider this crisis over, and we do hope that there would be no more crises of that kind. We do not want to fight against the international community. We do not want to fight even against our enemies.
Meanwhile, the first French troops sent to Bosnia to protect UN peacekeepers have arrived at the Croatian port of Split. The Rapid Reaction Force and a French mortar platoon will be deployed along the main supply route into the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo.
Here, the jury has retired to consider its verdict in the trial of 2 police officers charged with the manslaughter of Joy Gardner. Mrs. Gardner died in July 1993 after a struggle with police and immigration officials at her flat in Hornsey, North London. Police in Brightlingsea have arrested a number of people taking part in a demonstration to mark the 100th day of live exports from the Essex port. The arrests were made as protesters staged a sit-in, blocking the route to the docks.
With more than 150 protesters blocking the main road into Brightlingsea, the police issued 3 warnings to move or face arrest for willful obstruction.
Would you please move your...
The demonstrators ignored police appeals and officers began the process of moving them one by one. Andrew Abbott, one of the organisers of the event, was the first to be arrested. Many others were dragged aside by the police as the convoy of 3 lorries carrying sheep and calves inched slowly forward. Several hundred protesters converged on Brightlingsea, local people being joined by animal rights campaigners from Shoreham, Plymouth and Dover.
The price of first and second class stamps has been frozen at least until next March. The Post Office announced the freeze after reporting record profits of £472 million for the last financial year. The 50% increase comes after the government abandoned privatisation plans. Britain's biggest teachers' union, the NUT, has indicated it's willing to drop its opposition to grant-maintained schools under a future Labour government. The shift follows a survey of NUT members in opted-out schools, which found that many were happy with their school's new status. But the union does want some key changes, including equitable funding. That's it for now. There's more news at 1 o'clock.